It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 go!
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
That happened, or what happened that was different from in years past?
Yeah, that's where we're confused. We had an extensive call this morning with Goodyear, quite lengthy, and you know they're looking into things to see if there's something. Right now, the right sides, it's the same compound. I was assured that it was the same compound as we had run there the last 3 races, basically. And the left side was softer to help the driving part of the car, and the construction was a little bit different. It is something, we have seen it in the past, but I don't think we've seen the powder to that extent. And we're still working on it. We're trying to find out what was different, if anything. But you know, everybody's pointing towards the fact that the rubber looked to be a little bit drier or a little bit dustier look. So we're going to look into it and find out, you know, exactly what it is.
We'll now hear from Ed Harden with Greensboro News and Record.
Yeah, Tom sort of asked my question there. I am curious, though. Are you worried as you go forward? Are you worried about Kansas?
No, not at all. I mean, we've had good success with our mile-and-a-half racetracks, and you know, I don't think we have any concern whatsoever. We haven't had any you know, tire problems at any of our tracks this year. Atlanta, we probably overshot, and I think the vast majority of drivers thought that the tire was too conservative there. Goodyear's gone back, I believe it was about a week ago, and are done doing a test there at Atlanta to get that tire a little more grip. So, you know, Indianapolis is a one-off set of circumstances with the surface being as abrasive as it is, and it just goes back to us not doing, as a group, not doing the best job that we probably could have to have a good tire there at Indy. But when you look at Kansas City, Chicago, and all the other places the rest of the year, you know, there should not be any issues whatsoever.
We'll now go to Mark Dakotas with Florida Today News.
Robin, thanks for taking time today. I noticed on TV on Sunday you were down on pit road. A, is that normal? B, when did you realize that you needed to get actively involved in things? Thank you.
A, it was not normal, and I'll throw a 1A in there. It's, you know, it's not like I remembered it 6 years ago when I was stuck on pit road on a toolbox. But you know, we knew going into the race that I was going to go down when we started on the first competition yellow, and talk to some of the crew chiefs, get a good feel for what they thought, driver comments, things of that nature. So I was down there at about lap 8, and I made a couple visits during the race back up to the tower, and you know, and try to communicate with Mike Helton and John Darby and myself what the crew chiefs were saying, what the drivers were relating to the crew chiefs, and you know, it's not normal. I'm normally in the tower, and it was definitely a different sort of day for me.
We'll now hear from Kerry Murphy with Final Out.
Hey, Robin, how about we switch gears here a little bit? NASCAR.com is reporting that Mexico City is off the schedule for next year's nationwide series. What's the reasoning behind that?
Well, if that announcement's true, which it hasn't been confirmed to me just yet, but you know, we through the years we go to different places. We've always gone. We've gone to Australia. We've gone to Japan. You know, we've gone to Mexico, and I think Mexico, I don't think we've ever said that we would be there permanently. We went down there to help establish a new series down there, the Mexico Corona series. and that series has taken off nicely. They've built some new facilities, remodeled some. Car counts are great, and their series has really gotten a good boost from the nationwide cars being down there in Mexico City. So I don't think that we've ever been a real, we're not going to be global, is it? But we'll race in and out of the United States occasionally, and we've always done that. I've done that for, 20 years that I know of.
And we'll now hear from Dwight Drum with racetake.com.
Hi, Robin. My question is off the tires and on your experience, if I might. Can you comment on the impact of engineering and technology, the most important changes, on NASCAR racing, say, in the past decade?
The changes in technology in the last decade?
Yes. Go ahead, sorry.
It's been incredible, and I think it's been the support of the manufacturers. I think when a number of years ago, the manufacturers, they had all the cool equipment. They had their own wind tunnels. They introduced teams to compliance, K&C rigs. They have introduced the teams to shaker rigs, 7-posters. And I think as the sport has continued to grow, we've generated a lot of interest with our younger guys and gals coming along that are real car buffs that are come along with their engineering degrees. I think they have been instrumental in encouraging their teams and team owners to make budgets available to put a lot of that equipment into the race teams and in-house. So many of the teams that you talk to nowadays, they own their own 7-post and pull-down rigs and K&C rigs, and many of the teams have strong affiliates with wind tunnels. The Haas group, they've got their own wind tunnel, which they sell time to over here in Concord. Roger Penske has his own scale model wind tunnel. I think Red Bull has used some tunnel in Europe, and I know the manufacturers have used many test facilities around the country. And so it's something, I think, as the sport has grown, and we've had a really big influx of new, young, talented guys and gals out of college that have really taken the sport and pushed it very quickly along in the technology world. So it's just been a logical progression over the last 10 years, and it's been it's grown immensely.
We'll take our final question today from Richard Huff with New York Daily News.
Hi there. How do you not beat yourself up personally on something like this, or do you take it personal when an event goes like this?
That's a personal question, and I'll be glad to answer it. Everybody takes it personal. There's a reason we're here. There's a reason Mike Helton is who Mike Helton is, and John Darby and myself and all the series directors. I've been. I think next year will be my 30th year in the Cup Garage, and I love the sport, and we all love the sport, and we take it personal. And I grew up a race fan, and only being able to watch, tape delayed broadcast on Wide World of Sports or wherever it wound up being, and we take it, and it hurts us when we have a weekend like we've had. There's nothing worse than coming away from a race and knowing that the result was it wasn't even close. It wasn't even in the 25 percentile of what we're capable of doing and what we do week in and week out. So I don't feel real good about it right now, and I think if you were to talk to anybody that's been around me the last 48 hours, they'll probably back me up on that. It's difficult, it's hard, and we do beat ourselves up, but that's what makes us one of the best motorsports in the entire world. Is we take it personal, and when we see things that we know that we can fix, we're going to go fix them. And that's what we're going to set out to do, and we're going to put this behind us. And when we go back to Indianapolis next year, we'll probably have the best Indianapolis, best Brickyard race we've ever had.